This is the Ryan Day Show, presented by Roosters, a fun casual joint, and brought to you statewide by Encova Insurance, the American Dairy Association Mideast, and by Credit Union of Ohio on the Ohio State Sports Network, presented by the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center, the team physicians for Ohio State Athletics. Now, along with head coach Ryan Day and former OSU All-American Jim Lachey, here's the voice of the Buckeyes, Paul Keels.
Well, it's one of those games that everybody's kind of been pointing to all season. They were to the Oregon game because of the uniqueness of them being in the Big Ten and all of that. But this is one, Jim, that everybody's kind of been looking for with Ohio State traveling to Penn State.
Yeah, certainly. Even at the beginning of the year, they were looking towards this one. And, Penn State's held up their end of the bargain, sitting there undefeated right now and playing some good football. And, they had a great challenge last week against Wisconsin, a four-quarter football game. And they were able to pull away there in the second half. Coach
Day, I know this is a game in a week that you talk about a lot. These are the kind of games and the kind of weeks that you want guys to come to Ohio State to play football.
Yeah, you'd say so. This is a big one right here. 4 versus 3, and noon kickoff, and certainly a lot on the table. And, opportunity to get to Indianapolis is right there. It's a big part of this one right here. So, we need our veteran players to play veteran. We need our really good players to play really good in this game, and we've had a good week of prep, so looking forward to going and playing it.
What is it about Beaver Stadium? You've gone over there several times as a coordinator, assistant coach, and now as a head coach. What makes that place unique?
Well, first off, it's just how loud it gets. It gets really loud, so you got to be able to handle that on offense. That's a big deal. When you're dealing with silent, as as an offensive lineman, that's a big part of it. And, the momentum swings and things like that. But great environment. Look, and a lot of our guys have played in this environment before, so they're looking forward to the challenge.
What are some of the keys to trying to communicate silently because of that?
You don't have the verbal part of it. So you lose one of your senses. So you have to be able to make sure you communicate when the ball is being snapped without verbally doing it. So, how do you do that? Everybody has their own process on how to do that. So, we've had the speakers up real loud this week and making sure the guys are ready to go, and had the referees out there throwing flags if there was something that went on during the play. And so we'll do it again today.
Yeah, I was over there yesterday, and the crowd noise would go up, and then as soon as the play's over, it'd go down for a few seconds while you're getting corrections, and all of a sudden ramp it up again, up, down, back and forth. How are the coaches' comms? How'd that work at Oregon? Could the quarterback hear everything from the coaches? I mean, was it still, a viable thing to have?
Yeah, it was, it gets loud, but you got to be able to have it adjust. And what you try to do is just simulate that in practice, but you can't just have it up the whole time. Otherwise, there's no teaching going on, no communication with the scout team. So, yeah, we kind of have different levels, 1, 2, and 3. It's on 3 a lot this week. And we just crank that thing up and in between plays, try to teach the plays or make sure the scout team gets organized, and then we crank it right back up.
That's an interesting soundtrack that they play there. I don't know where you get that from, but that crowd noise is pretty good.
Yeah, they found it, and it's pretty accurate.
Yeah, obviously the offensive line has been kind of the topic of the week coming out of last week's game, and without divulging a lot of things, does this just kind of lead to what you've talked about all year with developing depth?
Yeah, depth's going to get challenged this week for sure, and but got some veteran guys up there like Donnie and Seth and Josh Fryer. So, and Integra's played, and Austin's played, and Carson's played. So, these guys have experience, and so that's good. But they're going to be challenged, and in this environment as well. But they'll be ready. They'll be ready to go.
And you had the depth last week step up in the defensive backfield without Lathan Ransom out there. And, so you had to move some guys around. Jordan Hancock came in, and, I thought he did a nice job, got that key interception there at the end of the game. And, I saw Jermaine Matthews in there. You saw Jalen McClain, get a little bit, Lorenzo Stiles Jr. So a lot of different guys stepping up in those areas.
Yeah, and we talked about this during the preseason that, once you got into November, it was going to be, who was healthy and depth was going to get challenged. And as we continue to work through the season, and into December, that all those things are going to come into play. So good to see us be able to move some pieces around. I think that's part of the 3-safety system that Jordan was able to move over to safety, and we were able to plug in Lorenzo and Jermaine in there, and that went a long way for our depth.
And certainly on the defensive side, there were some crucial stops that group was able to get.
Yeah.
Can you look at a lot of that, the combination of their physical ability, but also their studying and being prepared for the situations they're looking at across the line?
Yeah, I thought that, got a bunch of TFLs, and I thought, game was on the line, and they got to stop right there on the, inside the 10-yard line after the turnover. And, all the way down to the 1-yard line, got another stop. That's 2 weeks in a row. We've got to stop on the, 1-yard line. So, great to see them get that done. And, I think, for our guys, coming in and, winning the game in the fourth quarter was critical. And that's something that we're going to have to do this week. But the way the defense played in that game is what we're expecting in this week.
You can really see that defense step up, especially that defensive line, on that goal line stand. I mean, those guys have to get low. They have to get pressure. They have to get some pushback, and all those things happen.
Yeah, it is. And, getting our pads down and getting underneath people and knocking people back. And that's what it's going to take this week. I mean, this game is going to be physical, and the most physical team will win this game. So, I think coming out of that game, there was a bunch of confidence, for the guys up front, getting a little bit more penetration in there, getting more of a rush on the passer. So we'll continue to work on those. But we all know that number one thing we got to do is stop the run, and that's going to be the case this week.
And certainly offensively last week, when you needed it the most in the fourth quarter, putting that drive together that resulted in that touchdown pass to Quinshon Jenkins, that had to be something to see. The continuation of what goes on in the red zone, that had to be a thrilling thing to see.
Well, I always say this all the time. I mean, we're in control of how we want the game to look. So if we want the game to look different, we got to convert on third down. If we don't convert on third down, you're going to be in it in the fourth quarter. That's what happened in the game. So we got to convert on third down. But ultimately, at the end of the game, at the end of the day, when you step on that field, you look up at the scoreboard in the fourth quarter. It could be 65-63. It could be 7-3. You got to go win the game. Yeah, we the first down play, we got the pass to Carnell, and then continued to work down and got the touchdown. That was big. And then the defense, stepped up and got some stops. And good to see them respond even after the penalty, when that happened, and then they got the first down. So for us to get that stop was big. Would have liked to see the offense finish the game in the 4-minute drill on the other side of the ball.
Couple explosives too. You saw the 60-yarder that Jeremiah had, and Carnell Tate had a 40-yarder, and then 30-something yarder there in the fourth quarter that kind of got you in that position to go ahead and put some points on the board there in the fourth quarter to take the lead. Yeah, we got a bunch of explosive plays, and that was good. And we got to be explosive. That's important. So when you're explosive, you can score a bunch of points. But when you're 1 for 10 on third down, that's not going to get it done.
If you have a question for Coach Day, you can submit it to our Union Home Mortgage inbox at OhioStateBuckeyes.com and click on Ryan Day Show inbox. Union Home Mortgage, the official home lending sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. Learn about their 1% down payment program at UHM.com. An equal housing lender, NMLS number 2229. Also, the Foundation is operating a 50-50 raffle at each Ohio State home football game this season, with proceeds supporting community-based NIL opportunities and the Foundation charities. For more information on how you can participate, visit OSU5050.com. Saturday, Ohio State's at Penn State. We'll be on the air with the AEP Energy Buckeye pregame show beginning at 10:30 a.m. More of today's show presented by Roosters coming up on the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
Hi, this is Paul Keels. This Buckeye season, don't let a broken windshield ruin your game plan. Safelite Auto Glass makes it easy to get your windshield fixed with their mobile glass shops all over Central Ohio. They can come to you anywhere, giving Buckeye fans more time for game time. OH? Man, I love that. Schedule at Safelite.com. Safelite Auto Glass is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Safelite Repair, Safelite Replace. Hey, Ohio State fans, it takes a lot of energy to root for the Buckeyes. That's why Burger King is going to get your team going with the $20 Buckeye Blitz Bundle. This OSU fan exclusive has a delicious lineup that includes 2 Whopper sandwiches, 1 cheeseburger, 3 small fries, and 3 small drinks. Get over to your local BK and get fueled up for game day. Limited time only at participating Ohio area restaurants. BK is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Cheers to a great day and this ice-cold Corona.
You know what would make this day even better? My grandma's carne asada.
Or your grandma here with us, making carne asada.
She does love a cold Corona.
Throw in some dancing.
We can watch the game.
I'll drink to that.
So a backyard concert with football, food, dancing, and Corona?
And your grandma.
Or we could keep it simple.
Simple is good. Want a Corona?
Thanks. Salud to the perfect day.
Corona, la vida más fina. Get your Corona at ordercorona.com. Relax responsibly. Corona Extra Beer, imported by Crown Import, Chicago, Illinois.
Get ready, Buckeye fans. Donato's just added something special to the pizza playbook. Introducing Donato's new Block O pizza. Donato's golden thin crust cut in that trademark Block O shape, loaded with crispy pepperoni, smoked provolone cheese, and Buckeye Spirit. It's the perfect pizza for game day or any day in Buckeye country. Now get a Block O pizza for just $10 with any pizza purchase. Order today with the Donato's app or at donatos.com.
Need inspiration? Shop Kroger for thousands of appetizing ingredients that inspire countless mouth-watering meals with savings beyond low prices. Like digital coupons worth over $600 each week and up to $1 off per gallon at the pump. So you can get big flavors and big savings. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Fuel restrictions apply.
This is Ohio State head football coach Ryan Day, asking you to help provide 2 million meals to feed our community. Just round up at the Register today. Every dollar provides 10 meals for neighbors in need. Get in the game and let's tackle hunger.
Hey, Buckeye fans. As the official wing sponsor of Ohio State Athletics, Roosters is kicking off an incredible giveaway you won't want to miss. This football season, we're giving away 12 ultimate Buckeye experiences. 3 drawings, 12 winners with prizes including tickets, sideline passes, and 2 trips to a Buckeye postseason game. Go to roosterswings.com to register and see all the details. 3 drawings, 12 amazing prizes. Register today and every day. Roosters, a fun, casual joint.
Buckeye football lives here. The Fan. This is the Ohio State Sports Network, presented by the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center, the team physicians for Ohio State Athletics.
Welcome back to this week's show as Ohio State gets ready to play Penn State. Time for our 2D report, presented by the injury lawyers at Elk & Elk, proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. Call 1-800-ELK-OHIO in a position group. We've talked a lot about receivers. Carnell Tate stepping up and having the game he had last Saturday certainly shows what kind of depth and what kind of productivity you've been getting out of that group.
Yeah, well, teams have to make a decision, when it comes to that part of it, of who they want to cover. And, Carnell is somebody who, in a one-on-one situation has a chance to do what he did on Saturday. And that was great to see because he's got big playability and he's doing a really good job in a run game, and he's a real weapon for us.
Have you seen him doubling Jeremiah more and Emeka more and freeing up Carnell? Is that what you're seeing? I mean, each and every week, or does it change?
Yeah, each week's a little bit different, but Carnell's a very, very good player. Yes. So, one-on-one situation, he's going to beat most guys. And so, we'll need him to do that. We're going to get a lot of opportunities here on Saturday.
Is that where the tight end comes into the equation there too?
That's it. You've seen this year we've targeted tight end some in those situations. So he'll have his opportunities as well on Saturday. So again, all these guys, and that's the idea. Is that when you have everybody that are weapons, find a one-on-one and go win.
Now, you talked about third downs. You had a couple of their, short yardage type situations. What do you think you need to improve on? Is it plan, execution, or what? Or what you're seeing up front?
Yeah, all the above. Yeah. All the above. Yeah, we got to get more knockback. And I think, Zen's first start, there was a couple things in there that we could have done a little bit better. But at the end of the day, we got to get the push and we got to get the first down. It's going to be even more of a challenge this week. So we got to get that done. But yeah, and I think, there was some short yardage situations, like you said, and then there was some other ones, in the medium range that we didn't execute well enough. So we got to get knocked back, and we got to, even when there is collision made, we got to finish those runs off for an extra couple of yards.
I know when Will did go with the quarterback sneak, he picked up about 6 yards on that, and that was terrific. And kind of thinking, okay, quarterback sneak, you don't want to do that every time on short yardage, but it's a good switch ups to have.
Yeah, it's been a good weapon for us. It has, and he's strong in there, and I think that. As sometimes that can be a grueling play, you know what I mean? But having a big guy in there, be able to drive his legs and push the pile makes a big difference.
Is that where the equation on first down is so crucial with what you're facing on third down?
Yep. Yeah, when you get 4 more and you find yourself in the third and, manageable situations. And then in short yards, we're expecting to, 90% of the time that we're going to, convert in those short yardage situations. When that doesn't happen, we get ourselves out of rhythm. So got to get that done this week.
Yeah, 47 plays. I mean, that's a historic low, I think, for you in your 71 games here coaching, having just that many plays. And, again, you can review it as much as you want, but you got to get the execution part. You got to go out there and do it, and you got to get movement and all those type of things because, it just comes to mano a mano at that point.
That's it. And, give them credit. They were going to run the thing all the way down and shorten the game, which is good. That's what they should do. And so when you're not getting first downs and they are doing that type of thing, then that's how the game can get out of whack quick. So especially when we defer and they get the ball first. We got to make sure that we're getting stops, but we're also getting first downs and controlling the game. We had an opportunity to do that. I mean, we got a 3-and-out to start the game. We get the ball in plus territory and don't convert. So. I think we had an opportunity to set the tone in that game on offense. We didn't do that.
You've talked about what Will Howard can do with running and how mathematically that can give you an advantage. When you have receivers that can catch the ball out of the backfield like Quinshon did on the touchdown, is that also part of that too?
Yeah. When go back to the games previously, the Oregon game and, some of the other games that we've had, that's exactly right. When you're taking care of the football and you're running the ball downhill, and the Iowa game was a good example. You have over 200 yards rushing against them, and then all of a sudden opens up passing on the perimeter and, some of the weapons that we have. So, that's exactly what we're looking for. And so, looking to get back on track here this game. Was
Quinshawn, in that pass, is that kind of a choice route for him? Does he get a choice, where he's going to go, or is he, kind of taking it back to that, corner?
Yeah. In that play there, if it's zone, he's going to try to find, an area to sit down there, and if it's man, he can run away. Yeah.
That was a good decision, though, by him. It was perfect, and he timed it up at the right time to free himself and get open.
Yeah, it was a big play. And that's really what it comes down to in a pass game is that, it's the receiver's job, tight ends, running backs, to space out the routes for zone, and the quarterback beats the underneath for players. And against man-to-man, you got to win. You got to create separation.
And if I remember right on that play, too, he was coming off of setting a block as well, wasn't he, before he slipped out there?
Yeah, that's exactly right. Yeah.
13 TFLs. I know he spent a lot of time with that defense last week, and, those guys really came out and I thought had some positive things. You saw 3 sacks by their defensive line, but getting those tackle for losses was huge, all game long.
Yeah, much more penetration, much more disruptive, and so now we got to build on that. We know what we can do. And I think we'll keep adding to the packages to make sure we're getting that done.
There were some, complaints about you're playing these guys too many plays. But really, if I'm that guy, I want to be out there every play. So I think it's hard to tell a player to come off. A guy like Tyleek and Ty, both those guys, veteran guys. They kind of look at it. I got 4 regular season games left. I don't want to come off this field here. I want to be out there each and every play if I can be.
Yeah, we're not short on complaints around here. So, bottom line is we got to win.
Yeah. And speaking of the defensive side, if you would just talk a little how Cody Simon has played and how he's just been able to diagnose things.
Yeah, probably played his best, one of his better games as a Buckeye this past week. Was all over the place. Was disruptive. Was making tackles, the screens he was sniffing out, late in the game. Those are big plays in clutch game. We need a guy like Cody Simon to play clutch in clutch moments. He did that in that game. So, again, more and more confidence is building on him. He's playing at a high level right now.
Has he become more vocal as a captain and leader of that defense? Are you seeing that amongst him?
Yeah. I mean, he's running the punt team. He's the guy who's communicating and got the headset with Jim and communicating the defenses to the guys. So, he's vocal, you can feel him, and he's leading with his play.
We've seen Caleb Downs also in some of those screen plays step up and make plays. Is there kind of an art to guys really being able to recognize those things and shoot forward rather than get a little out of space?
Yeah, well, screens are in place to, take advantage of, real aggressive rush, and to slow down the rush. And so, there's a diagnosis of that in recognizing that. We're going to get, screens this week. We know that. And, being able to recognize when those things are based on, formation, based on technique, a bunch of different things, not to get into too many things technically. So that's a part of it, but ultimately it's going to come back to, when you get screens is defeating blocks and then running back to the ball, whether it's the defensive line, retracing the run of the ball, or somebody downfield getting to the ball. Those are the big parts in defending a screen.
And you can see those guys recognizing that early on. I mean, you can see, Tyleek right away, he kind of looked because this guy's not blocking me for a reason, and he turned around and, got in position to make a play. I thought that was huge. You've had 3 targetings, so far this year, a couple guys get knocked out. Obviously, you got the call reversed. What do you tell, again, these players? Because we talked a little bit about this Monday night when an offensive player drops his head. There's, what can you do? You're flying as fast as you can, and all of a sudden he drops his head, and it changes your, what you're trying to hit. Yep. Even though he didn't maybe get the head. What do you tell the defensive guys that are in that situation?
Yeah, not much other than continue to play really, really hard. Keep your head out of the tackle and make sure you're not, going at their head. I mean, that's it. And
it's hard to wrap up without your head being involved.
Yeah, I know. And we all understand why it's in place.
Yes.
For sure, to protect the players. But, when there's somebody laying unconscious and there's a head-to-head hit and everything like that, we all understand. But I think we've gotten too technical. And I think, to your point, it's become difficult to coach our players on what exactly to do when there's all this nuance and technicality. So I know the league's looking, very, very hard at it to make sure that, there isn't as much gray area.
Well, both our kids play football, so we understand it. We don't want anybody to get hurt playing this game. So, yeah, I mean, you don't want that to happen, but it is football.
That's right.
So, I mean, it's a physical game, and you can't take that away.
No, you cannot. I mean, that's the way. It's a collision game. It's a violent game, and, we're going to do everything we can to protect our players. But as you know, it's very difficult to to coach a player in that moment when the game's on the line, and we're fighting for our lives, not to go after it, go after the ball. And I thought he handled that play well, and it was a heck of a play. And I thought our guys were heads up, even though it made it look like an incomplete pass to pick the ball up, because you got to pick up everything.
Yeah.
Because even if they blow it dead, if they see you directly pick the ball up, then you can get the ball after the replay.
We'll start with some of our Union Home Mortgage inbox questions. Jason in Granville, how much more do your wide receivers ask for the ball to be thrown even more to them in games where the running game might struggle? They're probably always asking for that.
Yeah, I was going to say there's not one game more than another. These guys want the damn ball. That's how it goes. So, and that's the receivers we want. We want the running backs to want the ball. We want the receivers to want the ball. We want the offensive line to be able to run the football. I mean, that's just the type of guys you want. So we have receivers that are just like that.
Well, 13 to 16. 16's on a lower amount of passing attempts that you do have in a game. But again, his completion percentage is high. I think he was 9 for 9 at one point in this ball game. Ended up 13 for 16. But that's completing at a high level right there.
Yeah, that's what we need. Completions, and we need positive runs, and then converting on third down, and that's the recipe. And then obviously touchdowns in a red zone. So he's excited to play in this game and go back home. Yeah, he's fired up.
Now, that interception he had, did he just try to put it, over the linebacker's head into a tough area there? I mean, what do you tell, as a former quarterback coach, what do you tell the quarterbacks in those situations?
You want right after it happened, or you want now?
After it's been analyzed.
Yeah. I would say, in that moment right there, he probably just anticipated too much right there, which is good. He's trying to throw the ball on time, but in that moment there, didn't see the overlap corner, probably anticipated too much. And I think he was just a little quick with his footwork.
And he probably had to check down over to his left there if he'd have looked over there.
He did.
Yeah.
Yeah. How's he been developing as a leader, being here for less than a calendar year?
Yeah, he's been great. He's been great this week. He's been driving the offense. He's excited to play in this game. He doesn't need any extra motivation, but he probably has it. Going back to Pennsylvania, and so no, he's going to be excited to play in this game, and his leadership you can really feel this week, which is not different than other weeks, other than just a little bit extra grit in his work.
Well, he's from Pennsylvania. Aller, he's from Medina, Ohio. It's kind of ironic you're playing in this game, but both those quarterbacks will have that same type of incentive.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Yeah, and it's going to be a battle. It's going to be a great game. We're excited. Looking forward to get back on the field here today, get meetings, jump on it, make sure we're prepared. We'll get out there, wake up early for a noon kickoff, and get after it.
Be sure to check out the Buckeye Game Day Concert Series presented by the Buckeye Cruise for Cancer before every home game this season outside of St. John Arena in Buckeye Fan Fest. Each week features a different artist on stage 2 hours before kickoff. Get on board and book your cruise today. Visit BuckeyeCruise.com. Go Bucks and beat cancer. More with Coach Dave when we continue with our weekly show presented by Roosters on the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
Hey, Buckeye fans. Union Home Mortgage's 1% down payment program is like kicking an extra point or scoring a 2-point conversion. You put 1% down, and Union Home Mortgage will kick in up to 2% on the house. Visit UHM.com or call 877-846-4968 today. Union Home Mortgage Corp is an equal housing opportunity lender. NMLS number 2229. UHM will contribute up to 2% down, no greater than $2,500 towards a 3% down payment. Home buyers responsible for the remainder of the down payment. This offer is available for the purchase of a primary residence only. For full terms and conditions, visit UHM.com.
Hi, I'm Archie Griffin, 2-time Heisman Trophy winner. The right coverage can be a game changer, both on and off the field. That's why Encova Insurance and their local independent agents are prepared for what's next and protect what matters most to you. Whether that's your home, car, business, or family, Encova's got your back with a policy that fits you perfectly. With local independent agents in your neighborhood and innovative insurance products that can be tailored to fit your unique needs, Encova's playbook is an easy win for your peace of mind. You can trust their team of agents to develop a strategy that's just right for you. And it's not just X's and O's. Your expert agent will guide you and provide insurance solutions so you can confidently manage your risk and count on a financially secure future. For auto, home, and business insurance, you want Encova on your team. Visit Encova.com today to find an agent near you. Encova is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. Go Bucks!
AEP Energy wants to know if you're ready to say goodbye to higher rates and hello to savings. Get your energy costs under control by locking in a fixed rate for your electricity supply. You'll lower your bills and get price protection from rising rates. Take control and lock in a low fixed rate. Visit aepenergy.com/OSU to get started. AEP Energy, the official electricity and natural gas sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. AEP Energy is a competitive retail electrical and natural gas service provider and affiliate of Ohio Power Company, AEP Ohio. AEP Energy is not soliciting on behalf of and is not an agent of AEP Ohio.
When you're here, you understand what it means to be a Buckeye. And at Elk & Elk, we're proud to wear scarlet and gray every Saturday. Every client, every day, means if you're ever injured, we're proud to stand with you in court. And when you're here at the Shoe, we're proud to stand with you and cheer on the Buckeyes.
Whether we're here at the big game or in court, we are committed to you.
Elk & Elk, proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
At Ohio State, we are the never afraid to innovate teams, the agile, get it done teams, the achieve more together teams, and the improve people's lives teams. Together, we are the Ohio State University.
Learn more about Ohio State at osu.edu/impact.
The Fan. Ohio sports destination. You're listening to the Ohio State Sports Network, presented by the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center, the team physicians for Ohio State athletics.
Buckeyes are known for paying it forward. That's why Buckeyes Care strives to serve the betterment of our community by positively impacting families across Ohio. Join partners American Electric Power, Donato's, Kroger, the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center, the James Cancer Hospital, Huntington Bank, and WBNS TV in Columbus in supporting this cause at ohiostatebuckeyes.com/BuckeyesCare. And time for our Inside Access with Kroger. A reminder that Kroger Pickup is the easy way to get what you want right when you need it. Try Kroger Pickup today in the Kroger app or at Kroger.com. Coach, if you would, just give us some of the thoughts about the Penn State team you're going to see Saturday.
Yeah, similar to the Penn State teams of the past, on defense, they do a good job, at the line of scrimmage. Carter's really, really good. They have multiple guys they play up front that are all, NFL caliber players. Linebackers play downhill. Secondary is always competitive and really good, match coverage, so Tom Allen's a coordinator there, but they've kind of kept the same identity, a little bit of, his stuff there. And then on offense, they have kind of changed what they've done a little bit, with the new coordinator coming in, but similar to the same type of things that they've done, but they've just been very creative with multiple groupings, shifts, motions, pre-snap. So, you got to identify those things and make sure you're getting lined up quickly. Both running backs are very talented. The tight end is, an NFL player, probably a first or second rounder, really can do some great things. And then, you got to prepare for both quarterbacks going into this game. Both bring different things to the table, but both are very good.
Now, you said, Tom Allen, is there any resemblance to what Manny Diaz did with him last year or, last couple of years, or is it just more of, what Tom Allen's doing?
No, there's definitely some of that's in there. Some stuff that Tom has done for sure that's in there. Some things they've done historically at Penn State. So it's a little bit of a combination of all those things.
Let's make number one Jalen Reed. What makes him so valuable back there at safety? He's our leading tackler, so he's involved in a lot of different things.
Yeah, active. When you have a guy who can do multiple things, he can cover, he can play zone, he can come down and tackle, he's physical in the box, do those things, and certainly had a big play last week, and has experience. All those things add up to a good player, and he's playing that way.
This is a unique situation, but preparing for both quarterbacks or two quarterbacks for any team, that's always something that goes on, isn't it, to a certain extent?
Yeah. Especially when they have different skill sets. They're not going to completely change what they do, but both, players bring different things to the table. So, we'll prepare for both and, make sure we're ready to go. And, obviously you're not just going to completely change what you do, but you need to be aware of what, these guys' strengths and weaknesses are.
How much time do you spend on defensively of all the spots that Warren can line up?
Yeah.
Because they put him at, obviously tight end. He'll line up both sides of the line of scrimmage. But then, he goes out, he gets in the slot. And we saw him at center. We've seen him throw for a touchdown pass. So they use him in a lot of different ways. Do you just break that down into a special tape of all the different things he does and then have a plan to go after each one of those situations?
That's exactly what you do, and you put a special jersey on him during the week, and you make sure you know exactly where he is, and who his matchup is, and who you want on him, and those type of things, because he's a very, very, very good player, and that they're trying to target him and sometimes hide him based on what's going on. So you got to do a good job of that in practice and make sure the guys know where he is. Back to our Union Home Mortgage inbox list of questions from Ashton in Youngstown. This in reference to Jeremiah Smith and everything he's done all season. Who are some of the other freshmen, who have made strides on the practice field that maybe haven't got to play much in game situations? Yeah, I think, there's a bunch of guys that are working really hard to get on the field. And I think, when you look on the defensive line, Edric Houston's really been making strides there, and we'd like to, try to get him in some more and more snaps. I think he's done some really good things. I think Jalen McClain's done a really good job. You saw him in the game make a big play and come downhill and knock a pass, down, and that he's done a nice job. James Peoples, you haven't seen him get on the field as much, but he's coming on. You can see, we didn't get as many snaps last week, so someone like that, you haven't seen in a couple of weeks, but he's been making progress as time's gone on. So, there's a bunch of guys that are pushing hard right now, and we're going to need some of these guys in the later half of the season.
I saw where Sam Williams-Dixon lost his black stripe yesterday at practice, out of Pickerington North. What has he been doing to get to that level? Yeah,
just stacking days
scout
and being there.
Work.
Scout team, yeah, and a scout team sometimes isn't always the most glorious thing, but we had Maurice Clark come and speak to the team at one point, during the preseason or early in the season. And he just talked about how, he used that opportunity as a freshman to go down on the scout team and show I get to go against the, one of the best defenses in the country every day in practice. And I'm going to bring it every day in practice and look at it as an opportunity. And that's what everybody has to do when they come in. They got not only, some guys have to embrace their role, but some guys, if they don't like their role, go change it by going and do a really good job. And that's how, guys get on the field, because they see guys working a scout team, and all of a sudden you say, wait a minute, this guy should be on the field.
What about some of those young linebackers, Peyton Pierce and Garrett Stover? How have they been breaking through?
Yeah, grinding, growing, getting around Cody and Sonny, and James is doing a good job bringing them along. And so you just never know how that's going to go. I feel like, they're pushing hard, and so, we'll kind of see. But really want to get those guys to make sure they're making, an impact on special teams, because that's kind of the first step before you get on the field.
Is there a little bit of a different buzz with the scout team in a week like this when they're mimicking a team like Penn State?
Well, yeah, the challenge for the scout offense is that when that music is up or the noise is up really loud, is communicating over there, to making sure that you're communicating, because the whole time there's just this noise going on for the offense, and you're turning it down when we're communicating, but that doesn't always match up with what's going on the other field. So, and this week in particular with the different motions and shifts that are going on, so it's got to be on point. But there's a lot of pride in that, and I think some of the guys who are on the scout team really want to do a great job of giving a look in the meetings that they have pre-practice, and that's one of the good things about having more and more coaches. We can have really good, intense and accurate meetings going into practice.
Well, Jeremiah Smith had a touchdown in every ball game, and I know you've coached a lot of talented first-round wide receivers, but here he is, kind of just week in and week out, finding ways to show up, and number one, staying healthy to do that, because that's not easy to do, but just going through that grind and really excelling every Saturday that he's out there.
Yeah, getting better every week, and this is a big game right here, and so now now he's got to take the next step as a player, and now it's on film, and they know who he is, and they know where he's at, and so that's a part of it. It's out there, it's on film, so he's got to continue to upgrade each week.
Have you seen him talking much, or he seems like he's kind of a quiet guy and just lets his playing do the talking out there?
Yeah, that's him. Yeah, I mean, when you ask him a question, he's going to give you a good answer, and he's very thought out and very sharp, very intelligent, picks up things quickly. But you're right. He's not going to say a whole heck of a lot when he's out there. He lets his play do the talking.
It's important that the quarterback and the receivers have a good working relationship. Has he been a guy that's followed in lockstep with the other experienced receivers with the quarterback group?
Yeah, I think so. And Will's done a good job, working with those guys, and Emeka, leads the way there. Carnell, same thing, and. So I think they have a good synergy going.
Emeka has 167 career receptions now. He's 2 behind. He'll break Chris Carter's record if he catches 2, 1 more to tie. And again, just you talk about Jeremiah, tying Chris Carter for most touchdowns as a freshman, and now Emeka kind of moving past him. A lot of talent in the room, and they're going to have to be big this week.
Yeah, and. It just Emeka. Again, what can you say about Emeka? But this is going to be a big game, for all of us, and so. We need Emeka to step up in a big way and, be clutch, and make those clutch plays like he has in the past.
Buckeye fans, this season, Roosters is giving away 12 ultimate Buckeye experiences, including ticket, sideline passes, Buckeye trips, and more. 3 drawings, 12 prizes. Register today and every day at roosterswing.com. Roosters, a fun, casual joint and a sponsor of our weekly show with Coach Day, which we will continue with more of after this pause on the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
Coors Light presents To Chill or Not to Chill. When your friend skips your favorite song on the playlist. End of friendship. Or choose chill because that song lives rent-free in your head anyway. And you're planned ahead by bringing Coors Light to the party. And the sound of that ice-cold can cracking open was music to your ears already. Coors Light. Choose chill. Celebrate responsibly. 2024 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
Hello, I'm Ross Bjork, Senior Vice President and Eugene Smith, Wolf Foundation Endowed Athletics Director at The Ohio State University. In partnership with AEP, Donato's, Kroger, The Ohio State University, Wexner Medical Center, Huntington, and 10 TV, Ohio State Athletics strives to inspire the community to make a positive impact on children and families in our great state through the Buckeyes Care Initiative. Show and share your support in the community by using the hashtag #BuckeyesCare.
Go behind the scenes of one of the most recognizable landmarks in all of college athletics with a tour of Ohio Stadium. A seasoned redcoat will be your guide as you make your way through walls of the stadium, into the press box, and onto the field. Upgrade to the VIP package and get special access to the band center and the Ohio State home locker room. From corporate outings and school groups to single-person tours and small families, Ohio Stadium Tours offers a variety of options and pricing that will meet your needs. For more information, visit ohiostatebuckeyes.com and book your tour of Ohio Stadium today.
What do football and finances have in common? The team you play with makes a big difference. Credit Union of Ohio is your financial team to help you save and spend like a winner. Whether you're looking to make a big purchase or find ways to build up your savings, you'll always work with a team player at Credit Union of Ohio. Navigate your next big money play easily through Credit Union of Ohio's website at cuohio.org. That's cuohio.org. NCUA insured, equal housing lender.
Need inspiration? Shop Kroger for thousands of appetizing ingredients that inspire countless mouth-watering meals with savings beyond low prices. Like digital coupons worth over $600 each week and up to $1 off per gallon at the pump. So you can get big flavors and big savings. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Fuel restrictions apply.
This is Ohio State head football coach Ryan Day, asking you to help provide 2 million meals to feed our community. Just round up at the register today. Every dollar provides 10 meals for neighbors in need. Get in the game and let's tackle hunger.
When it comes to your cancer diagnosis, the choice for your care is clear.
And when you choose the James at Ohio State,
you're opting for care from a highly specialized team dedicated to treating one type of cancer, yours.
A team that studies the unique makeup of your disease to develop a personalized treatment plan.
You're choosing our region's only comprehensive cancer center designated by the National Cancer Institute.
For your cancer care, the choice is clear. The James at Ohio State.
Your home for Ohio State athletics. The Fan. This is the Ohio State Sports Network, presented by the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center, the team physicians for Ohio State athletics.
Buckeye fans, power up and calm down with AEP Energy and Eco Advantage, their 100% renewable energy plan for your home or business. Visit aepenergy.com/OSU to get started. AEP Energy, the official electricity and natural gas sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. Welcome back to this week's show as Ohio State gets ready to go to Penn State. You were talking about all the things that were a factor in last week's game. Certainly punting and flipping the field with the way Joe McGuire punted the football. That had to be a plus out of that.
Yeah. Certainly don't want to be punting that much, but when you do, you don't want to flip the field, and good to see, a couple of those get down the field. Well, I thought our gunner play was well done, and we're going to get challenged this week. We're going to get challenged, in terms of guys coming after the punt and certainly trying to return it. So, we got to do a great job of protection this week. We'll get a good job getting down the field and covering them.
Seems like our kickoffs have gotten straightened out since we had that, that one half there where we couldn't keep him, but he's been putting it right down into the end zone, and I think that's so, especially when you travel, you don't want to have any returns or things like that. And he's been able to kick it about 5-6 yards deep, which makes him non-returnable. And you've had great coverage too when you needed it.
Yeah, we say great teams cover, so we got to cover. We got to get down the field, and you just never know when one of those things are going to come out. So we got to get down the field. We want to get it like 21, 22 miles an hour. Everybody running down the field and run through the end zone on those things.
Who is the fastest guys on that?
Usually it's Inky Jones.
Is he?
Yeah, Inky's usually in that 22 to 23 mile an hour range. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And that leads to that material that you have, or the piece of equipment that measures the guys' MPHs when they're out there running.
Yeah. The GPS system in place, and we were able to monitor a lot of things. Their speed and how many yards they go in practice, and then we get the report back every day of how much they did, and if a guy had done a lot of work on the field, then they kind of like on the watch list the next day to make sure that we're doing what's right there. But that information can help us in a lot of different areas.
Now you don't put those on linemen, do you?
We do, but they're not.
Is it more heart rate or taking how many hits they're getting?
It's usually more explosive movements is what they look at, as opposed to like getting 90% of your top speed. It's a little bit of a different deal, but they're used a little bit more for the skill guys.
So everybody's got Big Brother on them, so to speak. I mean, when you go out there in the field,
yeah, that's everything.
Tracking everything.
Everything's being tracked.
Linemen are graded on a little bit of a curve, though, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Back to our Union Home Mortgage inbox list of questions, and you've kind of answered this, but we'll go through it again. Art in Upper Arlington, what's the most challenging part of playing on the road at State College?
Well, first off, anytime you go on a road in the Big Ten, it's a challenge. But this is, it'll be rocking from the jump, and it's the momentum swings that come into play that you got to be able to withstand and hang in there on. And we've been in that environment before, and so you got to get the game in the fourth quarter, but win the game in the fourth quarter. And that's the challenge for our guys, and we've got to get on get this thing into the fourth quarter, win the game in the fourth quarter. You want to set the tone early, but it's those momentum swings and that part of it. But as a mature group, then you handle it the right way, and we're going to do that.
Now, do you talk a little bit more, or have Larry Johnson talk to the team? He spent 18 years as an assistant coach here at Penn State, so he kind of understands that environment. And then probably more recently, Billy Fessler was a quarterback over there from 14 to 17, so he's been on that staff there. Do you have those guys talk to the team, or do you guys talk to them just trying to get a feel of what's going on?
Yeah, sometimes you would. Guys would ask questions just to get a feel for what's going on and what it's like there. But whether it's this game or any other game, it's going to come down to us, and that's just how it is. Whether it was last week, 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, it comes down to the Buckeyes and how we play and the physicality we bring, the discipline we're going to have to bring, and making sure that we limit the penalties and the mistakes. Those things will get us beat. So. I'm not as concerned about them as I am, us and how we play and our preparation and making sure that we're physical and winning on third down and running the football and, avoiding X plays and all the things that, really should be our focus going into this game.
Larry and Selena with another of our questions from the Union Home Mortgage inbox. When you have an early noon game on the road, what's the pregame routine like at the team hotel from wake up to how much time you get in the stadium and the differences that occur from a home game with a noon start like that?
Yeah, we get going early just like we would, for a home game. So, up at 7:30, pregame meal at 8, and we're rocking and rolling. It's a quick turnaround. We get on that bus and we're ready to roll.
Coach, trick or treat, I'm sure you're not. Are you handing out Buckeyes? That would be my guess is your favorite candy today.
Until you just said it, I had no idea that it was Halloween.
Did you know the World Series was settled yesterday?
I actually did not know that either.
Okay, the Dodgers ended up winning that. You missed a good series.
I can tell you what we did at practice yesterday. That's about it. I can tell you what's going on in this game. That's about it.
Well, Thursdays are the days when usually you have the families come over, so will there be a little bit different, and you may not know. Is there going to be a little Halloween theme for that? Outside of your purview?
You can ask Quinn Temple. I got a lot of other things going on right now. It's great to have the families around. That is important, though, and it's we love our family here, and it is good to have the kids over and make sure that the guys understand that we are dads and husbands, and we're all in this thing together in the Woody.
Well, in the locker room, we could hear it. Playoffs have started, and that's kind of been what Will Howard talked about that, and that's it. I mean, it really starts day one, week one around here, because if you want to accomplish your goals, you have to take care of business, and in the playoffs, you have to keep winning to stay alive.
Yeah, and if you want to play in the Big Ten championship in Indianapolis, you got to win this game. That's what's on the line, and we understand that, and we're fired up for it.
And this has to obviously be where the upperclassmen who've been to places like Penn State before can kind of help drag those younger guys along.
I think so. They do. They know, and you look in that the group before practice, and you talk to them, and you talk to them about what that environment's like, and they're all nodding their head because they've been there before. They know what it's like there. So that part is good. I mean, there's a reference point here.
What about some guys like Seth McLaughlin? He's played in a lot of big stadiums in the SEC, but this is a little bit different. 110,000 in the Big Ten, on the road.
I think he's played in similar environments before, yeah. And so, I think that, he handled himself well, a couple weeks ago, and he'll be fired up again to play in this game. And when you're the center and you're the guy in front of in front of the group in terms of the silent kids and all that, you're the guy that's running the show. And he's been good. He's been on it this week, and I know he's fired up for this one.
Coach, as always, thanks for the time, and all the best come Saturday.
Thanks, guys.
So Ohio State head coach Ryan Day, Union Home Mortgage is the official home lending sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. Learn about their 1% down payment program at UHM.com, an equal housing lender, NMLS number 2229. When we continue, we'll talk with Ohio State tight end G. Scott. That's on the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
They're trained. They're prepared. Let's do it. They're Ohio's undefeated plumbing, drain, heating, and cooling team. And they're here to tackle your problems. For plumbing, drain, heating, and cooling, there's only one team. The Waterworks. Better care, better value, better results. Call The Waterworks at 614-232-2222 or visit them online at thewaterworks.com. A proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Hi, I'm Archie Griffin, two-time Heisman Trophy winner. The right coverage can be a game changer, both on and off the field. That's why Encova Insurance and their local independent agents are prepared for what's next and protect what matters most to you. Whether that's your home, car, business, or family, Encova's got your back with a policy that fits you perfectly. With local independent agents in your neighborhood and innovative insurance products that can be tailored to fit your unique needs, Encova's playbook is an easy win for your peace of mind. You can trust their team of agents to develop a strategy that's just right for you. And it's not just X's and O's. Your expert agent will guide you and provide insurance solutions so you can confidently manage your risk and count on a financially secure future. For auto, home, and business insurance, you want Encova on your team. Visit Encova.com today to find an agent near you. Encova is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. Go Bucks!
Hey, Ohio State fans, it takes a lot of energy to root for the Buckeyes. That's why Burger King is going to get your team going with the $20 Buckeye Blitz Bundle. This OSU fan exclusive has a delicious lineup that includes 2 Whopper sandwiches, 1 cheeseburger, 3 small fries, and 3 small drinks. Get over to your local BK and get fueled up for game day. Limited time only at participating Ohio area restaurants. BK is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
AEP Energy wants to know if you're ready to say goodbye to higher rates and hello to savings. Get your energy costs under control by locking in a fixed rate for your electricity supply. You'll lower your bills and get price protection from rising rates. Take control and lock in a low fixed rate. Visit aepenergy.com/OSU to get started. AEP Energy, the official electricity and natural gas sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. AEP Energy is a competitive retail electrical and natural gas service provider and affiliate of Ohio Power Company, AEP Ohio. AEP Energy is not soliciting on behalf of and is not an agent of AEP Ohio.
Hey, Buckeye fans! As the official wing sponsor of Ohio State Athletics, Roosters is kicking off an incredible giveaway you won't want to miss. This football season, we're giving away 12 ultimate Buckeye experiences. 3 drawings, 12 winners with prizes including tickets, sideline passes, and 2 trips to a Buckeye postseason game. Go to roosterswings.com to register and see all the details. 3 drawings, 12 amazing prizes. Register today and every day. Roosters, a fun, casual joint.
Go behind the scenes of one of the most recognizable landmarks in all of college athletics with a tour of Ohio Stadium. A seasoned redcoat will be your guide as you make your way through walls of the stadium, into the press box, and onto the field. Upgrade to the VIP package and get special access to the band center and the Ohio State home locker room. From corporate outings and school groups to single-person tours and small families, Ohio Stadium Tours offers a variety of options and pricing that will meet your needs. For more information, visit ohiostatebuckeyes.com and book your tour of Ohio Stadium today.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination. This is the Ohio State Sports Network, presented by the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center, the team physicians for Ohio State Athletics.
Join Coach Ryan Day and experts from across Buckeye Nation to preview every matchup and break down each week's game. Game Time with Ryan Day, presented by Huntington, airs game day Saturday mornings at 9 on 10 TV in Columbus and is available on ohiostatebuckeyes.com. Welcome back to this week's show as Ohio State gets ready to travel to Penn State. We had a chance to talk with tight end G. Scott. Thanks for coming out. You've been to Penn State before. You know how loud it is. Describe to people what it's like trying to get on the line of scrimmage and trying to execute a play with all that noise going on.
Yeah, dude, it's rocking. From the time that you get there, it's a loud environment. I mean, I'm so loud that you can't even quite hear someone that you're speaking to right in front of your face, and it's crazy, and they're gonna bring it. But I think we've done a good job preparing, in practice with artificial crowd noise, and so we have the confidence that we're gonna go in there confidently. But yeah, it's definitely loud. It's one of the louder ones I've ever been in. I think the close second would have been that fourth quarter in Oregon. That would probably be the close second.
And, gee, that's got to be anxious for you because you have to move around so much. I mean, it'd be nice if you're just like the left tackle. I line up the left side every time I know where I'm going to be. But you have to move around so many different places, during the play. So you got to get exactly, every part of that call. You can't just get one part of it. You got to get everything. And that has to make you you got to be right in his face.
Man, yeah, that's football, man. It's not only moving it around, but also knowing where you fit into the concept. It's not enough just to know my job. I got to know what everyone else is kind of doing and where I fit into it. And also, a lot of times when I'm in the wing position and I'm kind of off, I'm behind the tackle, so I can't quite see the ball. So you'll probably see me in the game putting my hand on his rear, just so when he goes, I go.
You can feel him.
Yeah, so it's going to be that kind of thing where I'm not hearing anything, and I'm just going to have to go when the tackle goes.
Gee, it's been a couple of years now, but what was the move from receiver to tight end like for you?
It was more than I anticipated. It was a lot, and it was not an easy transition. But ultimately, I think through it, I was able to learn a lot of things about not only football but myself, and I think it was a great transition. And if I can go back, I wouldn't change a thing. And I'm glad to be here. But like I said, it was a lot. It was a lot to be able to. I was just talking to Jared about this a second ago. Like came in here around 205 pounds, and now being around 245 pounds, that's a lot of weight to put on in a short amount of time. And so. And I think that tight end is one of the harder positions on the field. I think, especially physically. I mean, I think we have to block some of the bigger guys on the field and be, agile enough to be able to run routes against some of the smaller guys in the field. And so it's an asking task, and it's not something that you can just think you're going to roll over from the receiver position and think I'm just going to do. So it took a lot.
Wait till you get to be some of our ages. Gaining that kind of weight won't be a problem.
Was it just a lot of lifting, a lot of eating, a lot of calories? I mean, what did they do?
Yeah, a lot of calories. I think just over time, just consistently eating more than I probably was initially. But it wasn't only just the weight thing. It was also just being able to hold up and having your body be strong enough to go through some of the stuff that we have to go through. It's a physically demanding position. And like I said, it's not something that you're not going to roll out of bed and roll over from receiver and just jump in a tight end and think it's smooth sailing like that.
Now, you have to, every once in a while you have to go trap a guy. How do you like that? I mean, that's when you got to put a little extra air in your helmet and okay, let's go get this guy.
That's when I look at my teammates, Travion Henderson, him getting ready to carry the ball, or Quinn Sean, and I remember that I love those guys. And this is for you, brother. Because if it was up to me, I wouldn't be doing it. But, for my brother, I will do so.
And how about a Mecca pulling around tonight and gets Michigan State taking on linebacker?
Yes.
That had to make you feel good.
Actually, funny story. He didn't even know he knocked him down. I remember I tell him, like, dude, you took a shot on that guy. He's like, I did? I didn't even know. I'm like, yeah. Welcome to the club, buddy.
And he got back up and was ready for the next play.
Yeah.
Wow.
No, yeah.
Helping out with the blocking schemes with the offensive line, that has to be something, and especially now with the injury to Josh Sims and all of that's got to be a real emphasis, and especially going into a game like this week, G.
Yeah, I think I look at our job as like we jokingly call ourselves the janitors. I think we clean up where there's messes laying around. So if the tackle needs some help, we'll do so. If the running backs need some help, we'll do so. If they're clouding out and they're dropping 8 down the field and we need a check down, we'll do so. And just kind of fitting in and just we make things whole. We'll make things clean. And you don't notice that you need one until they're not there.
And you've been effective right by the sideline, taking those routes and getting the ball and turning it upfield and gaining some yards after a catch, which has been impressive the last couple times.
I took a couple shots last game. I think there was one on the sideline. It was 2-on-1. They got me kind of good. But, yeah, I got to, just prepare this week to be able to maybe make a move and get through there.
Now, working with those young tight ends, you guys like Jelani out there. I know Patrick Gird's been around for a long time, and Bennett's been around, but, helping Jelani through all this because, he's going to see some action or has seen some action these last couple games.
Yeah, I think it's, again, this is a very developmental position that takes a lot of time and work at it to be able to get good. I wish I could compare it to something, but it's just something that really takes time. It's not something that some of the tasks that we ask, like the trap plays that you're talking about, that's not natural to human beings to run full speed and to collide into another man like that. There's nothing natural about that. And so to learn that over time and to continue to harden your body to be able to do so is a learned thing. And I think all the guys in the room, even the young guys, they're doing a great job. Jelani's doing a great job of just embracing that, all that goes into it. And now it's just about refining and getting better to where we're ready to roll on Saturdays.
Run through, not to, and step on their toes if you can.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
How about developing chemistry with Will Howard? What's that been like in the past game?
Yeah, no, it's great, man. It's great. I think ultimately, I think it's our job as receivers, as pass catchers, to build confidence that, because at the end of the day, you can have excuses about what takes place. At the end of the day, I think Coach Hart told me this years ago, when the ball goes your way, what happens? And I think that's a great question to ask yourself. You can make excuses, well, the ball was behind me, or they were in this coverage, or my shoelace was untied. You can have all the excuses in the world. When the ball is thrown your way, what happens? And so I think one of my things that I want to make sure I do a good job of, when the ball comes to 88, that good things happen. And so as long as I continue to do that, I think the chemistry between Will and I will continue to grow. Will is going to be one of my better friends on the team. He's a great guy.
Sounds good. G, thanks for coming out. All the best Saturday.
Yes, sir. Thank you, guys.
That's Ohio State tight end G. Scott. Join us Saturday as Ohio State's at Penn State. We'll be on the air with our pregame show starting at 10:30 a.m. The Ryan Day Show presented by Roosters has been brought to you statewide by Encova Insurance, the American Dairy Association Mideast, and by Credit Union of Ohio. Thanks for listening to the Ohio State Sports Network presented by the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center, the team physicians for Ohio State Athletics.
Men, if erectile dysfunction is affecting you, getting treated could have a dramatic impact on your relationship and your outlook on life. But it's also important where you get treated, because your health matters. And working with an organization that practices excellent medicine and has significant expertise in men's sexual health can often result in a far better outcome. This is Jeff for Tri-State Men's Health, and if you're seeking a quality provider to treat your ED or are just not satisfied with your current situation, call us. We'll show you a true 5-star experience and work with you to find the right treatment for your specific medical situation. At Tri-State Men's Health, we truly are experts in men's sexual health, but it's more than that. Unlike the online pill pushers or so-called men's clinics that only offer one or a few treatment options, we offer the full spectrum of ED protocols. We can even use combinative therapies for better results. At Tri-State Men's Health, your initial visit is just $99 and includes blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 800-900-9654 or go to tristatemenshealth.com.
Trust and Will knows that you're likely celebrating a loved one's birthday this month because fall is the most popular birthday season in America. And Trust and Will celebrates by protecting what matters most. Trust and Will makes estate planning easy and affordable, designed by attorneys but customized by you. Visit trustandwill.com with offer code Columbus for 10% off. That's trustandwill.com, offer code Columbus. Trust and Will is an online service providing legal forms and information. It is not a law firm and is not a substitute for the advice of an attorney.
Care Heating and Cooling. Honest technicians, honest pricing. Call 1-800-COOLING.
Reichert Chevy's dealing in Dublin.
$2,500 low price guarantee.
With our lowest prices and 72-hour exchange policy, you can't buy the wrong car. Shop hundreds of vehicles at ReichertChevrolet.com. Together, let's drive. We're dealing.
Still getting around to that fix on your car? You got this. On eBay, you'll find millions of parts guaranteed to fit. Doesn't matter if it's a major engine repair or your first time swapping your windshield wipers. eBay has that part you need, ready to click perfectly into place for changes big and small. Loud or quiet, find all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. But you already know that. eBay. Things, people, love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Good morning, Doctor.
Doctor?
Hi, Doctor.
Doctor?
Dr. Jackson's practice is growing.
What do you mean we're still short-staffed?
He needs a good patient doctor.
How do we not have enough doctors to doctor all these patients?
And he doesn't have the patience to sift through hundreds of resumes.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. When you sponsor a job on Indeed, it's easier for talented candidates to find it, which makes it easier for you to hire them. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored